the word I always like to focus on in this tweet. He fixed the Little Mermaid and changed the woke actor into a ginger. Why is he using the word woke? Because if he doesn't use the word woke, he's obviously being a racist. And I'm sorry, but the word woke is becoming very thinly veiled at this point. It is very clear what you're trying to say. You're saying black actress, or maybe there's even a better word that you would rather use, but you can't, so you just use fucking woke instead. Literally, there's nothing woke about the actress except the fact that she's fucking black.
This Organized Chaos video is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello again. So, that Little Mermaid trailer happened, and I guess I should talk about it. Listen, my interest in this project is just remarkably low. I don't know how else to stress it. Live action Disney remakes have a pretty abysmal track record so far. They're not good. I remember enjoying Jon Favreau's The Jungle Book. What was that, 2016? And that's about it. I remember thinking Aladdin is, like, passable. Like, if you're really desperate for a retelling of Aladdin, sure, but otherwise don't. That's about the biggest praise I can give these. Most of these I dislike. Dumbo was so boring that I forgot about until I did the podcast recently. The Lion King is like a new version of The Lion King, but it's animated and the creatures have less emotion, so it's in effect worse. Beauty and the Beast was just... No. These are not good movies. But now everybody's blowing up because they released a teaser for this new live-action Little Mermaid, because of course they're doing a live-action The Little Mermaid. And you know what? I haven't even seen the teaser. So you know what? We're going to watch this teaser. Okay, first observation, this is a dark movie. I think it's kind of a weird contrast. We get the light musical notes from the original, but so far this is very dark and kind of tough to see. Weird. Okay. Wow, okay, so watching this teaser, I almost feel like this is made to be bait for the, I guess they'd be the anti-woke scolds. Because all that trailer had was a lot of dark underwater shots and then black Ariel. This was designed to trigger them, but you know what? It's really easy to trigger them. So I don't really care about that, because Jesus, these guys are ridiculous. But yeah, there's like nothing to that trailer at all. Lots of dark shots and then one shot of Ariel. And this isn't even a good look. So let's go back, because let me go ahead and mute it, and I'm going to put it on slow so I can explain to you guys why this looks bad. So I have like little hope for this at all, because this is not a good look. So the she is supposed to be underwater in this. But I'm going to tell you exactly what this looks like to me, and that's probably because this is what it is. She is not underwater. She doesn't remotely look underwater. Her hair looks dry as fuck. What this looks to me as if she's like in this set and they're putting some sort of underwater filter over her. Now, granted, yes, they are not actually going to put her underwater. Of course they're not. But, like, put a little bit more effort into it. Like, we had Aquaman a couple years ago, and that looks way better. Like, let's get to that rock bit. This is going a bit too slow. But we see that shot of her on the rock a bit. Yeah, she is not underwater. Like, her hair is just going straight down. It's not, like, going out or anything. This does not look underwater. This looks like just... This is just some sort of effect put over top of it. This is not a good teaser. Really at all. I did not like it at all. That was bad. Now, of course, now we know why the anti-woke skulls are at it. Because, oh, Ariel's black. Of course, they aren't saying Ariel's black. They're saying Ariel's woke. Because we all know what that's code for at this point. And let me go ahead and dig up something that has been deleted off of Twitter. Alright, so this has been, I believe both the guy who posted this on Twitter and the at 10 gazillion IQ both have been suspended off Twitter for being fucking racist, because this is racist. But this is just a tweet that says, credits to our memer, artificial intelligence scientist at 10 gazillion IQ. He fixed Little Mermaid and turned the woke actor into a ginger white girl. He says he can fix the whole movie when it comes out with 4X A 6,000 in 24 hours. It's over for the woke cells. So I do recall actually seeing this video clip, and I will say this. The effect used to turn her from black into a ginger actually looks really fucking good. And it's too bad he's using his clear fucking talents to be a racist piece of shit. Literally making a fucking computer program to change black people into white people because you can't handle this. Listen, this live action Little Mermaid is probably not going to be good. It doesn't look good just from this fucking teaser, which barely shows anything. You know, I'm a firm believer in judge the movie when it comes out. And if I go to watch it, I haven't decided if I'm even going to watch it, because I'm not interested in it. But if it gets a lot of attention, I'll probably have to. But listen, when I go to see it, I will go into it with as much an open mind as possible and judge it by its own merits. But god fucking damn it, this doesn't look good. So to all the people who think it's important to change the the woke actress, not the black actress, the woke actress, you know, into the ginger. Fun fact, there is a version of The Little Mermaid that stars a white Ariel. This movie already fucking exists. And not only that, it's probably going to be the good fucking version. So you people whining about this, I have no sympathy for you at all. This is some disgusting piece of shit. I just don't even know how to... What do you say to this? I'm sorry, you commenters who are going to explain to me how this isn't racist, how, the color of a mermaid doesn't matter. My response is, it clearly matters to you guys. This is boldface racism. There is no other way to describe this. Just Jesus Christ. Literally, I'm going to make a computer program to turn black people into fucking white people. Go fuck yourself with this shit. How many Little Mermaid movies do you need starring a white person? Because we already got one. How many more you need? Just fuck. And the word I always like to focus on in this tweet. He fixed the Little Mermaid and changed the woke actor into a ginger. Why is he using the word woke? Because if he doesn't use the word woke, he's obviously being a racist. And I'm sorry, but the word woke is becoming very thinly veiled at this point. It is very clear what you're trying to say. You're saying black actress, Or maybe there's even a better word that you would rather use, but you can't, so you just use fucking woke instead. Literally, there's nothing woke about the actress except the fact that she's fucking black. Just get fucked with this shit. This is almost certainly going to be a bad movie, and yet they're still freaking out over it just because it stars a black person. And I want to stress, I think Halle Bailey might have been announced to play Ariel in this a long time ago, possibly even pre-pandemic. I remember this, like, they've been working on this for a while, and I'm pretty sure she was announced a long time ago, and now all of a sudden they're actually seeing her and be like, oh my god, they cast a black person as Ariel? Yeah, no shit, they did it fucking forever ago. Where the fuck have you guys been? This is almost certainly gonna be a bad movie. Maybe I'll be wrong. I hope I am. I absolutely hope I am. I hope this is, like, the movie that makes me think, oh, maybe these Disney live-action remakes were totally worth it. Just to get to this one fucking gem. It won't be. It's not looking good. But, maybe, cross my fingers, I hope I'm wrong. But you know what? I feel like I've kind of said my piece. Let's go ahead. If we want to look at some racist takes on this, let's go to some, and I also got a request to do a video on this, so we're going to look at those, but to look at some racist takes, I feel like we have to go to a big source of racism, which is Geeks and Gamers. Listen, Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker are bigger than Geeks and Gamers, but I have a very strong inclination, even some evidence, that they are completely fucking grifters. They don't believe it. Geeks and Gamers come off as genuine fucking bigots. So let's look up, because I think they've already done a couple on this. And it has the same thumbnail. So they did this 8 days ago. Legendary backfire, Disney getting destroyed over super woke. Super woke. What's woke about that trailer? Literally just a black Ariel. I don't care. And then, literally, this is the same thumbnail again, except it looks like they add Jeremy's in the middle. Jeremy Griga, the main guy for Geeks and Gamers. Little Mermaid Backlash hits ridiculous 1.6 million dislikes. Accounts getting banned over memes. They're probably getting banned over racism and probably some harassment too. And then 3 days ago, 2 million dislikes. Little Mermaid Backlash being manufactured to keep people divided. How many fucking videos? Little Mermaid Backlash being manufactured to keep people divided? Is this an admission that you guys are faking it? Because you guys are the ones doing the fucking backlash here. You guys are talking about how, Disney is getting backlash for this, and it's all from you guys, and now you're like, oh, Disney is making it up. What the fuck are you talking about? I will say this. I'm pretty sure Disney is, part of why Disney is, casting, black people, like a black person as Ariel. I would love it if it's because she has the best singing voice, and she really just performed the shit out of this. I would love it if that was the reason. But it's probably a degree of stunt casting. It's also because they knew people like Geeks and Gamers would freak out over it and give them free publicity. And fuck, I already missed, they did another one here. They've done 4 videos on this goddamn bad teaser trailer already. 1 million dislikes. Disney facing historic backlash from super woke. Super woke. It's a black actress. How is that woke? Okay, guys. You anti-woke guys that are going to be in my comments. You anti-woke, anti-SJWs. What is so woke? And you use woke to just mean bad. What is so woke about being black? Or being a woman? What is woke about these people existing? There is nothing fucking woke about that trailer. At all. Except Black Mermaid. You guys call fucking woke everything. It's just, I can't handle it. But okay, let's look at the first one of these videos, because they're probably all the same. Look at this. It's the same, picture of Ariel, and then the screaming fucking, whatever meme, and then the same meme, the same fucking meme, the fucking blow up with the same meme image. Fuck, guys. At least get more creative with your fucking thumbnails. I swear to God.
We have our first look at the live-action Little Mermaid from Disney. And as you can see by the downvotes, it's not going over very well. Not at
And I want to stress these downvote add-ons you can get to, I think it's Chrome. They're not accurate. Assuming they're reporting the numbers that the people post on my chat, because they like to talk about me being ratioed, they are way over-reporting my numbers. Like, significantly over-reporting my downvotes by, like, sometimes 2 to 3 times amount. It's insane.
at all. Now, of course, we all know what's going to...
And if you're really interested, you can look it up under my, what was it? My, Prey review. I show some of my downvotes on there. I'm not going to do it here because I already did it there. But yeah, you can actually see the actual numbers there.
We follow it up by that. We all know that Disney is going to make some claim about how everyone criticizing it is an ist or an ism and that they stand in solidarity.
So here's the deal. I just levied a whole bunch of criticisms about this teaser. A whole bunch. I don't think it's a good fucking teaser. I think it's over dark. I think the water effect, the actor effect they're putting on her is cheap as fuck. She's clearly just sitting on a rock with some water after effect. It's lazy as fuck. I'm willing to bet you money that that nobody's going to genuinely call me a racist for those critiques. They will call people racist for making fucking apps that turn black people into white people, though, because that's fucking racist.
And then they're going to say how racism is bad, and then they're going to make a generalization about white people.
Wow, what, are you... I like how he's being sarcastic. Oh, they're going to say racism is bad. Yes, racism is bad. Why is that? Why are you guys so against that concept? Racism is bad. Say it with me, Jeremy. Racism is bad.
We know it's coming. It would be more surprising if it didn't happen at this point, but it will. And of course, they love doing this. They love creating these things so that they can call everyone else the names and then try.
Well, you know what? They wouldn't do it as often if you guys weren't so easily fucking baited into this shit. It's literally just a black actress playing Ariel. I literally do not care. And you guys are like all, over this shit. I do not care.
Try to silence them, but you're not going to silence us, Disney, because
because we have 100,000 followers on YouTube. Well, what? I think 300,000 to 400,000 followers on YouTube, and we're going to blast this out, and we're going to do a whole bunch of free publicity for Disney, and then this movie will make like $20 billion at the box office, and then we're going to scream about how we destroyed it because it was supposed to make $21 billion. That's how this always fucking goes. They scream and scream, and then the thing ends up being fucking successful as fuck, and then they're like, oh, but wasn't as successful as you thought it would be. Oh my god.
We're going to continue to call you out. I'm someone that just got done watching Cobra Kai.
Call them out for having a black actress. Jesus, this guy's ridiculous, man.
Kai season 5, and it's incredible. And you go, why wouldn't every company want to do this? You take an IP, you respect what came before it, you honor it in the current timeline, and then you build it for future timelines by introducing new characters. And by the diversity quota of Hollywood, does Cobra Kai have diversity? Yes, plenty of it. And we all love Cobra Kai because why?
Cobra Kai season 5 was pretty nowhere. Let's put cards on the table. Season 1 Cobra Kai is amazing. Season 5 is, I don't want to say it's bad, but it's definitely, it's not great. It's not good.
Because it respects the story it's telling. It doesn't have the pandering, it doesn't have the nonsense, but of course, when you respect the story,
how do we know this won't respect the story it's telling? How do we know that? We've just seen a teaser at this point. The only big difference, the only thing they've established is that we're going to have Black Ariel. It could be exactly like the original. I actually hope it isn't like the original. I hope they do something creative and different with this fucking thing, but it'll probably be exactly like the fucking original, and it'll probably suck for that reason. But we don't know that yet, so we don't know what to judge it on. I've already judged it for my reasons, but like even what I've said, what I've judged it on is a teaser trailer. So I've judged a teaser trailer. I have not judged the movie yet. I have not seen the movie yet. I do not know. Maybe it'll be lighter in the movie. Maybe they'll refine the water effects. I don't know.
You're telling, and when you do things for the right reasons, you can't build a fake victim narrative out of it. And that's the whole problem. That's why a lot of these companies won't do it, because they want to build the fake victim narrative, because there's not a...
The fake victim narrative. All I can tell you, dude, is that she's just black. We don't need it explained why she's black. It doesn't need to be natural. It doesn't need to be any more natural to the story, her being black, than her being white. And it's not like the original movie followed the original story well at all, because it didn't. You people are ridiculous.
Enough supply of racism out there. There's just not. To meet the corporate demand, there's not enough supply. So they have to invent fake stories out there. Fake stories so that they can pretend that this is a widespread problem everywhere. And we're just going to have to pretend that this is such a big problem. We have to continue to kneel for the national anthem. And
I literally already brought up that somebody made an algorithm to change the black actress into a white actress. How do you think Halle Bailey feels about that? That somebody literally made an algorithm to change her out of a movie. That's pretty fucking shitty if you ask me.
Play the black national anthem at NFL games and, march in the streets and burn cities to the ground. It's all meant to create...
Wow, that's some intense racism from you, but I won't expect anything else from Geeks and Gamers. Yes, black people means burning cities to the ground. Thank you. Thank you for laying your cards out on the table. Such a piece of shit.
Create an image that just isn't reality. But as long as you're creating things that you can build your fake victim narrative out of, that's the point behind it. The Little Mermaid is the latest example of Disney and Hollywood just being completely tone deaf and creating things so they can create the controversy and then build a fake victim narrative on top of the controversy. It will...
I hate to tell you guys this. I suspect that they are doing this to bait you guys. But the fact is, when you take the bait, it becomes clear that you're just being racist, because you literally have nothing to attack this trailer for except the race. I have yet, we'll give this video the first 6 minutes. We're going to give it, but I'm betting you all the other videos are going to be exactly the same. He hasn't even brought up the actual issues with the teaser like I have. That is not a good fucking teaser. But instead, he's gonna focus on, oh, she's black. Let's see where he goes. But you could already tell that's what he's talking about.
Will happen just like it's happened with Ghostbusters and Star Wars and Rings of Power. It's going to happen here. They're going to send...
By the way, Rings of Power, super fucking white series. Incredibly white series. Just saying.
Out the message. They're going to send out the everyone...
The message that black people exist. Is that what you're talking about? The message that black mermaids exist? By the way, mermaids don't exist, period. What message? Dude.
One that's criticizing this is racist message. This thing's going to be at 1 million downvotes before it's all said and done. It's going to have 1 million downvotes. This is like Rings of Power level stuff.
It's the thing. You guys brag about ratioing me. You can ratio fucking Little Mermaid trailer. You can ratio fucking Rotten Tomatoes. Of course you can ratio me. Doesn't make you right. It doesn't. It's all you got. You can't actually deal with my argument, so you ratio me. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Good job. You failed.
Stuff we're talking about. And Rings of Power has really kind of opened so many people's eyes. And if you look at the comments, it's the same thing as Rings of Power. And I think that's what's so funny about it. If you're not going to take this seriously, then we're not going to. And we're just going to troll the hell out of you at this point. Like, look at what people are saying. The part where Sebastian says she's starting to believe, and then Ariel stops all the bullets with her mind, sent chills down my spine. Just stunning. It's just like, this is what you deserve. Hollywood, Disney, corporate media.
That random comment, I'm still scratching my head. So, she's starting to... So, what? That's the end of The Matrix. What the fuck does that even mean?
This is what you deserve. You deserve to be treated like this because you You don't care about the stuff that you're doing. You don't have any respect for it. And now you're just getting absolutely destroyed in the comment section. And it just continues to go. You can just look and see right here, you know? I love the part when Ariel says to Ursula, it's over, Ursula. I have the high ground. Always gives me chills.
So that's just become the meme. They just, everybody's saying, I love the part, and then they reference another movie. It's just a meme thing that people are doing. What the fuck? It doesn't even mean anything. Jesus.
And yeah, it just continues. The comments are so good. Oh, but the funny part is, and this is a tweet from the Quartering that he posted a screenshot of. This is from Discussing Film, who has me blocked, by the way, who has a lot of people blocked because it's about discussing film for the people that agree with us. That's essentially what that Twitter handle should be called. But look at this. Look at this.
He might have you blocked because you're a piece of shit, too. It might be one of those two. I don't know.
Looks exactly like Ariel. What? Complete with the red locks in The Little Mermaid, incredible singing, and the film already seems very close to the animated version. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, seriously, these people don't operate in the...
So, like, it could be exactly like the animated version, except she's black. That's the thing. When you're criticizing this, and it's exactly like the animated version, except it's black... You're kind of showing, dude. Yeah.
The real world. They're trying to create something that does not exist.
Yes, that's what fiction is. Creating something that doesn't exist. Are you talking about the, but of course, no. He's talking about the narrative behind this. I do suspect Disney is doing this as stunt casting. I don't think it's bad to have a black Ariel, by the way. But I don't think Disney is doing this for representation like I would like them to do. If they're doing it for purely representation purposes, I would be all for it. But I do think they're doing it to a degree to troll these people. And these guys are going to make tons of free promotion for this, freaking out about this, doing their Twitter things where they fucking change her into a white person. Yeah.
How can you sit there and say she looks just like Ariel? What are you talking about?
It's possible she looks exactly like Ariel except for her skin color in every other respect.
What are you talking about? It's unbelievable. Now,
Well, you know what, Jeremy? Go ahead and explain to me. Why couldn't she look exactly like Ariel? Why? What aspect of her makes her not look like Ariel? I'll give you a while to answer. It's the woke. Look at that woke all over her face. She clearly has woke skin. That's it. She has woke skin. Yeah, just use the word woke instead of the other words you want to use. That's the go-to for you guys.
I don't know if this has been deleted or not. I'm sure the Quartering probably had to screen cap it because he's been blocked probably too. Yeah, it's just insane. It's insanity. But what is not insanity is that like to dislike ratio, and it's going to continue to get worse and worse. Let's refresh. Let's see where we're at. So it's 652,000 now. 652,000 downvotes. Hasn't even been out, I think, a full day. So it's going for 1 million, and it's probably going to happen. And it is absolutely hilarious. You get what you deserve. You continue to have zero respect for these properties, for these characters, and for the story.
Where are we seeing disrespect for this property in this? Like I said, the teaser does not look fucking good. But for some reason, you're really focusing on the look of Ariel. And for all we know, the best aspect of this movie will be Halle Bailey's performance. So get fucked right out of here.
Stories you're
I will say, one of the better parts of that teaser was her singing voice. I thought she sang it quite nicely.
telling. You want to push identity politics. You want to push political propaganda.
Identity politics. Ugh. You know what? You want to know how you get them to stop pushing identity politics? Stop throwing a little hissy fit every time they do something like this. That's how you get them to stop.
and you want to call fans racist and sexist simply for having an opinion and holding.
Well, when that opinion always finds a way to attack women or minorities, then yes, those are bigoted opinions, and I have no interest in them.
You accountable for the bad job that you're doing. Happens every single time. Thank you guys for checking out this video. Go to 221btactical.com if you want to get the new Geeks and Gamers hat.
Just, he's a real piece of shit. Geeks and Gamers, I just have no respect for him. But I did have a request that was related to this. Could you please do a video on ABBA and Peach, Little Mermaid videos? I'm interested to see your take on them. So ABBA and Peach is actually someone I've not heard of. I want to do Geeks and Gamers to get some of the hate, but I brought up ABBA and Peach here. 1.7 million subscribers. This will be the biggest channel I think I've covered. Probably, possibly. I don't know. But they do. Okay, so they are going to cover the AI to make Little Mermaid white again. So we will see what they say. I hope they have some good takes. I genuinely do. Because lots of bad takes on this one.
You heard about this Little Mermaid? The Ariel? She's going to be a black girl? We spoke about that a while ago. Okay. Yeah. Basically, if you aren't aware, Ariel, Little Mermaid, the live action, they're going to have, Chloe Berry? What's her name? Okay, doesn't matter. She's a young black woman, very good singer, talented, cool. She's going to be Ariel. It's no longer going to be a white redhead. So, somebody posted this online. I thought it was very interesting. Artificial intelligence scientist, all right, has decided to fix a Little Mermaid and turn the woke actor into a ginger white girl. Basically going from Chloe to a white girl with red hair. He says he can do the fix for the whole movie when it comes out in 24 hours. And then afterwards, he posts like an image. Look what he did. You see this? From this to this. This is using artificial intelligence. And just
okay, but why do they do that?
Because a lot of people are mad that Ariel is now going to be a black woman. Okay. They want it to stay white. And then he says for Twitter, this is purely for educational purposes. Please do not misinterpret this in a racist way. I'm just amazed by high IQ friend who works with artificial intelligence and the stuff he can make. I want to show people his field of study. Okay, so there's two parts to this. Okay? There's a first part, which is the change, is it racist? And the second part, which is our thoughts about the whole Ariel changing, which we kind of touched on first. So, okay. I don't think you could really separate the two. Someone told me this recently. I never really thought about it, but a bunch of gingers were hitting me up like, bruv, we don't get represented enough. I was like, what you talking about? It's like, gingers represented on TV and movies is not a thing. So Ariel was like the one person that we had. You disagree?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
I feel like there's plenty of gingers. Ron Weasley. The entire Weasley clan. I don't know. I've never thought of gingers in the same way as black people, because black people are treated differently in our society, and gingers are largely treated like white people.
And look, I rag on gingers. You guys know me. There's no beautiful ginger people out there. Yada, yada, yada. Okay? Speaking of which, remember I said there's no beautiful ginger people out there? Well, it's a bunch of gingers disagreed.
Of course. They sent you nudes?
And all they did was reinforce my opinion.
They send you pictures?
No, I looked at their pictures. They had a profile. I was like, yeah, I agree with what I said. And this guy had a video on us.
I am disheartened, angry, and quite frankly disappointed. This morning, I logged into youtube.com and decided to watch a video by my favorite comfort creators, ABBA and Preach. And in that video, ABBA said this.
I'm gonna go with contestant 3. I don't really know my reason. I just think number 3 first.
I would have kept her.
There are no beautiful ginger people.
He's trolling. He's trolling. He's trolling. That's the best troll ever. He's trolling.
There are no beautiful ginger people. Those words, they tore my heart in half.
Shout outs to you, my dude. That's funny as fuck. That was funny as hell.
Listen, as a
Yeah, I do feel like he's trolling.
mediocre average person, listen, I can relate. Don't worry. It's okay. All you gingers, come on, get a big group hug. At least I think you have a soul, which is all that really matters, because Jesus will give you salvation. As a born-again Christian, that's all I care about. Not how ugly you are.
I was kind of enjoying this. Is he actually born again?
On the outside, but how beautiful you can be on the inside. That's it. So,
Shout out to you, my dude.
On the topic of, so they were telling me about ginger representation, and it is an interesting thing. And
are we on ginger representation? That's gonna be funny.
My stance on this is the same one I had when we talked about this 3 years ago, which is I'm not mad at the idea of representation. I'm not mad at the idea that it's kind of cool to have Disney characters of all races, walks of life. I just don't like it when it's forced. And I think it's kind of corny to take fairy tales with one race and then just switch them when they have such a not historical, but like there's already a history.
Oh, well, the Little Mermaid movie has it's elements from the Hans Christian Andersen story. It's not the same thing. I don't like the argument of forced representation, because what is forced representation? Ariel could have been a black woman in the first one, just as easily as white. They chose white, and this time they're choosing black. I don't get the argument for forced representation. Like I said, there is an argument for stunt casting here to get all these guys raged up and then get tons of free publicity because everybody's talking about this now.
History built with the fans and the viewers and how they view it. It's the same way, like, if I read Harry Potter, and Harry Potter's always been described as a white dude with freckles and a fucking scar on his face and all this stuff, and you change the race for the live adaptation, I'm gonna look at you funny. That's it. I prefer it if you want to create this whole idea of representation to just create stories that have black bases as characters, right? Nobody got mad when they looked at the Black Panther stuff and they saw nothing but black folks. Nobody got mad when they did a bunch of
Oh, I've seen people get mad over that.
other live action movies and had black people as leads, because that's how the stories were originally written. And it doesn't have to be stereotypically black either. They could be characters who happen to be black, and it's not because like they speak with Ebonics or whatever. They can just be regular too. So I'm not against that. I just don't like the retelling of old stories with like race swaps or gender swaps. It's like same thing with like superheroes all of a sudden changing genders. I find that shit kind of corny and forced. So
yeah, I don't really care. It depends on the hero. When they literally like make a new character but give him similar powers like Miles Morales, I don't care, because like you still have Peter Parker around. They're not replacing Spider-Man. They're just making a new, different Spider-Man for honestly a different group, and lots of people love Miles Morales, including me. So I like stuff like that. When you gender or race swap. Like, a lot of the characters they've gendered or race swapped have been, like, C-list characters. Like, not even the B-listers. Scarlet Scarab? Who was invested in the character of Scarlet Scarab? Probably the most popular characters I can think of that got gender or race swapped in the MCU would probably be Nick Fury in the MCU, which actually was part of the Ultimate comic book. So I guess they race swapped him in the Ultimate comic book. And Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin in 2003 Daredevil. 2003, right? Yeah. And he was honestly perfect for the role. Vincent D'Onofrio, I think, does better, but Michael Clark Duncan did a really good Kingpin, and physically he is more adapt for the role than Vincent D'Onofrio, who is pretty good for the role as well.
And my preference... And people don't like that either.
Most people don't like that. My preference is tell great stories. Stories that have always been black, and that always, if that was at the center of it, and show that to the young generation so that they can see themselves in it. I'm all for that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't know. It's maybe because the time we grew up in, we had Fresh Prince, we had the Jamie Foxx show, we had the Bill Cosby show. We had such an array of different accents and ways of talking and moving that I got to see a little bit of ourselves represented in a lot of media in that regard, to some degree. I wouldn't have liked it if they redid Friends and stuck a bunch of black people.
Exactly.
That would have been corny to me.
It would have been corny if they did that to anything. Like Full House was Full House. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah. And Full House was apparently all white people. You know, I don't want to see... I saw Full House. I don't want to see House Full of Niggas.
Dude, that was foul, bro. That was foul. Uncle Ruckus rose from the grave for that bitch.
You see, I feel their arguments have a bit more nuance to them. My argument against Full House being race swapped is that I really don't like Full House. I like Bob Saget, but Full House, not interested at all. So, like, if they did a race swap Full House, I would still be not interested at all. I would not care. For me, the argument is always, do they do it well? If they handle it well, then anything can work. I've seen ideas for stories that shouldn't work that work really well, and ideas for stories that should work completely fall on their ass. So it all depends if it's handled well. We are in a culture right now of reboots and remakes. Not something that we had going on so much 20, 30 years ago. 20, 30 years ago, original IPs were more likely to be launched and have their own, you could have whatever representation you want, and then this argument would be mute. Now it's all about reboots and remakes, and when you do reboots and remakes, it's like, well, if that's all we're doing, then we should probably have stuff with more representation, so that's what they're doing. I understand that perspective. If you want to make an argument, hey, they shouldn't do so many reboots and remakes, I'm pretty much on board with you. I wish they did less. I'm hoping we're at the end of this phase where we get so many reboots and remakes and start focusing on more original IPs, because I'm getting a little sick of it. But this is the time we live in right now. Yeah.
I just want to see original.
We don't want no house full of niggas.
Over there. I want to see original stories. I don't want to see a Black James Bond. I saw The Harder They Fall.
I don't know. I think Idris Elba would make a badass James Bond, personally. I just... Like I said, I think he's getting too old for it at this point. But that being said, if they cast him as James Bond, I am there opening day. Because every performance I've seen him do, he's a great actor, and he would do an amazing James Bond.
Or The Harder They Fall with Lakeith Stanfield, the movie was made by the Bullets. It's still on Netflix. I thought that shit was dope.
It was about cowboys, right?
It was cowboys. It was a black cast. It was good people and bad people, both black, and it was an original story.
I really do think that the point that the Gingers made to me about ginger representation was facts. It was facts.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought about it, because you don't really think about ginger people as being, like, different.
Yeah.
But they are.
Are we going to seriously handle the ginger thing? Because I feel like that was more of a joke. Ginger people are largely treated as white because they are white. Here's the thing. So, God, I feel like we're getting into such nuance here, because we could argue that we could absolutely argue, white people, black people, ginger people, what the fuck ever. We're all human beings and we should all be treated the same. You got me on that one, because I agree 100%. We all need to be treated the same, but we're not. I have not seen anything about, like, gingers being harassed excessively by the cops. I have not seen stuff about gingers having less opportunities. People being less likely to be hired at a job because they have a ginger name on their resume. These are not issues I've ever heard of. So ginger rights has definitely not been something on my radar. Now, if you come up with evidence saying, hey, gingers are really disrespected in the world, then yeah, maybe we need to look at that. But I've not seen that shit, so I don't know what we're talking about here.
They had Ariel and they had that princess from Brave. That's what they had.
What's Brave?
Brave is a princess.
Exactly. What's Brave?
Yeah, we don't watch movies like that anyways.
They probably don't know it either. A lot of these people don't know it. I'm just saying, if you think about it, if, like, genders feel that different, for them this was their thing, and they got erased.
I can understand.
That was a fact. And so
I can understand that, but that's what I'm saying.
I'll say this. Do I believe that the scientist did this because he felt like gingers were being... No, I don't think so. I think people saw the race swap and they got mad. So could you see that as being... Maybe. You can certainly make the case, and I wouldn't fight you on it one way or the other.
I'm not fighting that.
But considering the fact that, like, ginger representation's a thing and you guys just swapping these things, I can understand why some people are bothered by it. You can't make the argument like, oh, well, it's just a fictionist character. Why would it matter? And then also say, well, black people feel represented. Obviously, it does matter. You can't have it both ways. You can't say it doesn't matter. It's a fair fiction his character, and then also justify the reason why the race swap happened to begin with. And also, let's not pretend, please, just for me and you, let's not pretend that when they did this casting, they didn't set themselves on, we're going to hire a black person for this specific. Obviously, they did. And they've been doing this a lot. This is a concerted movement to have a certain number. Here's something that you guys may not know. Nowadays, when they do sets for shows, this is for comedy. How about for comedy? They had something called, they had a comedy show here. I'm not going to say what it is. They asked me to do it. I said, no, I don't want to do it. This is like on a big festival. Come to find out, the lineup comes, and some of my white comic friends tell me, it's like, yeah, we weren't even allowed to apply. I'm like, why? They said, because we only wanted one white male for the whole 10 comic lineup, and we already booked them. Everyone else got to hit their quotas. These things do not happen on accident. This is not a...
Well, yes. One white comic for 10 seems really crazy. But yeah, no, there is an encouragement to hire more minorities and women in roles. Also in workplaces, there's also encouragement. That's one for affirmative action is about. I would, again, love to live in a society where we don't need affirmative action. I don't like affirmative action, but I also feel that it is necessary because you look at it, and historically, women and minorities are less likely to get jobs, or less likely to be hired at places, and that's an issue. And it's probably not. Well, I mean, I'm certain you're dealing with a percentage of people being overtly racist. We just saw Geeks and Gamers. He's pretty overtly racist there. But you might also just be dealing with people who, like, because they're white, they look at a white person and they feel they relate more to them. They connect more with them. Just, and in a quick meeting, they may not be able to get to know the person because, you can't in a quick meeting. And they just feel more comfortable with the white person, so they hire them over the black person. This is why they do these quotas and stuff like that, to get more, representation out there in these places where they should be. I wish we didn't need them. I wish we lived in a world where we didn't need shit like this. But we do. The fact they feel the need to change the color of the Little Mermaid tells you that we still need shit like this and it's still relevant.
Meritocracy. It's like, it's a
Yes, I would love to live in a meritocracy too. We don't. We absolutely don't.
Meritocracy by race. Do you understand what I'm saying? The best black profile for this show. No. So just know this is something that people are doing consciously. And so that changes it. And the only reason they would do it consciously is because they understand what it means. It's not just this arbitrary thing that they're doing for fun. It means something.
Oh, hold on. Last thing I want to say is that, well, last thing I want to say is like, it feels whenever they did all the reboots that they did and they do all the versions that they do, and then after that they give the role to a black person. We did that. We said that already before, but we're saying it again. When they do that, it to me, after that, it feels like crumbs. That's what I was trying to say. It feels like crumbs. Like we're getting the played out leftover of something that was used and abused, and then after that we get our part.
No, I feel like there is an argument for that because, like I said, this live action Little Mermaid's probably going to suck. So that means the good Little Mermaid movie will be the one with the white woman or the ginger, and the bad one will be the one with the black woman. It's not a great standard to be setting up. It's because we're doing all these reboots and remakes, and it's like, yes, let's do more original stuff. I agree with you on that. But since they're doing this, I understand why. Let's mix it up a bit. But yeah, it is cynical by Disney, but it's not bad too.
Whereas whenever you get an original story, we get the full meal.
Yes. I also say this. I don't just feel this way about race. I remember there was specific types of French movies that were made and then were brought to America and recasted with American accents.
Yeah.
Lost all the societal context that makes the humor and the Taxi's one. What was the one with Kevin Hart and the guy in the wheelchair? And there was Well, the original one's amazing. The American version was disgusting.
Horrible.
But the reason why they make these casting changes is because they think this is what's going to work with the... But they lose all the artistry. They lose the heart of what the writer did when they created the...
Okay, so what they're speaking of, though, is not actually the issue with casting changes. It's doing cynical remakes is what they're actually talking about. Cynical remaking is bad. Now, I'm not saying it's always bad. It is possible. Maybe Disney says, hey, we're going to do this remake because it's going to make a whole bunch of money. And then they find a director who has a brilliant idea for this remake. And they go, great, you make your movie. And then it comes out a great movie. This is a possibility. But it is originally intended with just to make money. And that's part of why these Disney live-action remakes have sucked. You get very few directors who are actually interested in doing anything like that, but the studio's going to just heave a whole bunch of money their way to make these movies, and they're going to make them, and they're going to probably suck. Marvel, the reason why Marvel's done okay is because they can usually at least find creative people who are interested in the characters or doing like superhero stuff. The live-action remakes of Disney's been doing, they don't have that. No, but I don't see anybody being inspired or interested in doing that. So they're doing it for a paycheck. This is not an issue with stunt casting black people in white roles. This is an issue with remakes in general.
With that movie, they didn't even change the gender.
No,
they didn't change the race.
They just changed
but they just changed the context, and they changed. It lost all its appeal.
Right, and art is already a difficult thing to make work perfectly. When you start only thinking about the commercial aspect, let's hire this actor because they've got a following on Twitter. Let's get this person because they're TikTok famous. You're killing the art. You're killing it. Right? And so when all these fucking execs are getting involved in these decision makings and everything is just about the bottom line and the dollar and none of it's based off of the skill to compensate for it, I start to look at them funny. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really like movies as much. I definitely don't like movies as much as I used to. And same for TV. It's too much of this like forced bullshit to just try to sell everything. Let's include a storyline about race. Let's include... You know what? Why don't you just make a story about a black character who doesn't have to revolve around the fact that they're black? Those are great too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not interested in having all this stuff forced. It made me think of that movie, Queen and Slim.
Queen and Slim.
Trash. That movie was A+ garbage.
You thought so?
Bruv, it might be the worst movie I've seen in the last decade. Mm-hmm. That's how bad it was. Everything was forced. Everything was just virtue signaling. Everything was just like, all right, this storyline and the way that white people view black Americans and the way that black people, and like trying to represent something symbolically rather than real organic storytelling. Mm-hmm. So this is the kind of stuff that I'm seeing more and more in movie where it's just like, how can we hit those political brownie points rather than telling a really well-developed story? So that's my gripe with it. Maybe I
have a fair bit to say about this, but I'm waiting for them to get to their conclusion.
Feel differently. Even this Marvel universe and this need to make 100 superhero movies a year. It's not because they're telling good stories and they're trying to tell these authentic superhero stories well. It's because they make money. They're doing the source material like no justice half the time.
What do you mean?
What you mean what I mean?
Megan Thee Stallion was quirking with She-Hulk was not part of the movie?
Nick, I'm not even going to get that. I'm not even...
Not directly, but no, they've done stuff like that with She-Hulk. So actually, yeah, that was respecting the source material.
What do you mean? It was not part of the movie?
What are we doing? What are we doing?
What do you mean? A lawyer twerking? You never seen that?
But yeah, let us know what you guys think. We want to hear from you.
Well, I definitely have thoughts here. I felt like their take was much more nuanced than most of the takes I've been seeing on this. So good for them. Good for them. They have some of the right ideas. Like, the issue is with the remakes. It's getting ridiculous. But, like, they're talking about, oh, it's forced. Well, the forced aspect is not necessarily forced. It's bad writing. I have history. Like, I've done plenty of writing in my life. There's some of that writing that just comes naturally and organic and it just flows. And then sometimes you just gotta force it. And I'm going to tell you a secret. 9 times out of 10, when I'm putting the video together in the end that I've just written, I can't tell the difference between the forced stuff and the organic stuff. It all flows together nicely. So if a story feels forced, that's an issue with bad writing. very much an issue of bad writing, and that's an issue that should be tackled with, you know, at the writing level, not it handled at, oh, they forced diversity. They tried to tell a story they shouldn't have told. No. They just wrote it poorly. Everything can be handled properly. As long as they, you know, as long as they do a good job, as long as they write it well, as long as they direct it well, pretty much anything can work. I've been shocked at the number of movies or books or piece of media that I've seen where I've been like, that's not going to work. And then I actually look at it and I go, that fucking worked. And then the opposite can also be true, where I go, oh, well, that's a slam dunk. And I look and I'm like, that was a fuck up. It happens all the time. It's all in the delivery. It's all in the writing. It's all in the direction. That's the important thing. And part of the issue is when you start remaking a whole bunch of stuff and nobody's interested in remaking this stuff, but it's making money, they're going to keep on pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. Then it's going to be like, well, this is all we're making, but, you know, all this stuff has white people, so we're going to put some black people in it. I don't have an issue with that. I'm 100% fine. Let's increase diversity and everything, because let's face it, we've seen way too many movies starring white people in my lifetime. So let's do more stuff with black people. Absolutely. Let's do more women, more minorities. Absolutely. I love this idea. But then, let's give them a project that, you know, isn't as good, like The Little Mermaid. Listen, maybe The Little Mermaid will be a brilliant movie. But it's probably not, because these live action remakes are not good. And yes, it's gonna feel like we gave the black woman the shitty Little Mermaid movie, and the white woman had the white. I guess, yeah, there was a voice actress. Jodie Benson did the voice of Ariel. She had the good mermaid movie, and then Halle Bailey will have the bad one, probably. And there is a sense of, wow, that's just such the crumbs. And yeah, there's an argument to be made for that. But this is what the studios are making right now. That being said, there is still great stuff being done outside the studios. If you're just looking at the studio stuff, then yeah, not looking great. Especially that the Disney live action remakes. Jesus Christ. I cannot think of a series of movies I am less interested at this point. Jesus. Bad. But like, Jordan Peele has yet to make a bad movie. He's a black filmmaker. Almost always huge black cast in his movies. Fucking great fucking movies. You just have to go outside your main Hollywood bubble, because Hollywood's not going to be the best spot for representation. It never has been. Not saying Hollywood can't sometimes create great movies, but yeah, it's an issue. That being said, yeah, if you look at that Little Mermaid, if you look at that Little Mermaid teaser and think, wow, this looks dark, tonally doesn't work with the music. Why does it look like she's just sitting on a dry rock and her hair looks completely dry, and they're just putting some sort of wavy filter over her? Why does it look like that? If those are your critiques of the Little Mermaid movie teaser, good, because that's my issue. If your critique is, why is she black now? The issue might be with you.
They think order and chaos are somehow opposites and try to control what won't be.
Do you enjoy pain?
Pain don't hurt.